Thank you very much for joining me and taking the time out of your very busy schedule. I hope that there's something here within this video or one of the past videos that is able to help you or somebody else that you know as an entrepreneur um, to help make a difference or even become more successful. So, if there is, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Please leave a comment down below. Um, so, with our last episode, what we had looked at was definitive purpose. Today, I want to take a little bit of time of looking at a positive mental attitude with definitive purpose and how that can help. And few people know that with every adversity carries with it a seed of equivalent exchange. And still fewer people know the difference between temporary defeat and failure. And if more people knew what the difference between that was, they'd be less likely to quit, and they'd be more able to meet the opposition that keeps them from obtaining their goals. Success is usually but one step between the point of where somebody quits. It reminds me of the story of 3 feet from gold. A gentleman owned a gold mine, had been working it consistently, hadn't found anything, turned around, sold the gold mine for really cheap, only for it to turn out that he had stopped 3 feet from a very rich gold vein. So the difference between failure and temporary defeat is based on a positive mental attitude versus a negative mental attitude. A positive mental attitude in this case is the inability to accept it as a failure. Failure is a man-made circumstance. It is never real until it is accepted by the person as permanent. Now, as I was kind of looking at it, when I say positive mental attitude, this is the think, and believe, the self-confidence, hope is a good example of positive mental attitude. This isn't to the point where you'll read with some of them where, oh, you just sit down and just think happy thoughts and you'll eventually get what you want because the universe will make it come to you. Yeah, no, it don't work like that. You actually have to put energy, effort into attaining your goal. The positive mental attitude, like I said, is hope because it'll help carry you over when you do have those temporary defeats, helping to keep you from being able to accept them as a permanent setback or a permanent failure. So positive mental attitudes are very helpful in that. So this is the more of the thought of you will get that, yes. Knowing your statistics, knowing when it comes to your business. This is why I will end, or at least get to this point of the 90-day tracking sheet. We'll go into that. Um, but we're looking at it more as the positive mental attitude to the hope, faith, uh, not so much of the starry-eyed, utopian, um, socialist ideas. No, you have to put effort into a equal outcome because there is no such thing as a fair, equitable outcome with things. Um, and again, mindset is part of that. Um, so failure is often serves as a blessing in disguise because it breaks up the mind and from what Napoleon Hill calls a hypnotic rhythm, and he applies that term very well to that's when you get into that routines that almost again keep you comfortable. That's what a hypnotic rhythm can be, are those routines that are just comfortable. It's easy. You're doing it without realizing it. And sometimes those failures, they free you from the hypnotic rhythm and allow your mind to have that fresh start to look at a problem from a new perspective. And it forces one to depend less on the material forces around you, to use more of your inner self, that self, your inner faith in yourself, and to think outside the box, which when it comes to business, that's usually what helps you succeed the most, is to think outside the box. There's nothing wrong with understanding the box, but being able to look outside to find that one thing niche that's just a little bit different than everybody else, that helps you stand out when you're walking, helps your business stand out when somebody's walking down the street. And yes, that's also metaphorically, but it's also true at the same time. You want something that makes that business just a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with it being similar. Capitalism. Uh, they say that, I believe the statistics is about, you've got about 5,000 businesses that are publicly traded, about another 5,000 major, large corporations that are privately held, and then about 500,000 small businesses. So, capitalism. And within those 500,000 small businesses, of course, there's a lot of similarities, but they all have that one thing that's a little bit different, that's something. And to get there again, sometimes hitting those temporary setbacks allow you to look outside the box, to think about other directions in which you can go. So your world will change whether or not you choose to change with it. You have the power to choose the direction that you set your course to change. It's kind of the idea of, setting the sails, for you to be able to move forward, but keeping a positive mental attitude, um, knowing that this is just s- a temporary thing, this too shall pass, will help keep you going towards your goals, to your big, hairy, audacious goals. Napoleon Hill says that with positive mental attitude, there's a natural tendency to use seven of what he terms as the 17 successful principles. You can read about those in, I believe it's his, Success Through Positive Mental Attitude. Uh, but of those, when you're working those positive mental attitude things, the seven things that tend to come around that you tend toward when you're working towards your goals would be, of course, the personal initiative, taking things, and just doing it. Self-discipline, that's, something that everybody, again, this is a talent. I'm just, people say I was born with it. No, self-discipline is something that you can learn. It is a skill that is trainable or teachable. Um, Creative vision. This is problem solving. Everybody can do this. Um, Number four is, he lists organizational thinking, and this is goal setting. I know it sounds, but it's goal setting, and everybody can do it. You start with little goals and move up. Um, and we've talked about it with some of the past videos. I know in the future I'm going to go a little bit more into goal setting and how it can benefit the entrepreneur to be able to maintain those goals as well. Despite the fact that a business breathes, um, having those goals, and again, keeping to your goals is really important. Um, Controlled attention, or a concentrated effort. So again, laser focus on those goals, working to get it every day. Then there's the budget of time and money, because again, um, the saying, goes, is people have lots of money and no time, or lots of time and no money. So you've got to be able to budget both your time and your money to turn it into a profit when you're doing a small business. And as you're working with a positive mental attitude, these are kind of the things that you tend to, again, as I mentioned, tend to gravitate towards or think a little bit more about, because again, you become more conscious of, more aware of these seven, according to Napoleon Hill. And of course, number seven is enthusiasm, to be able to stay motivated when your business breathes, when you hit a valley, when you miss your goal, or miss that important goal. Again, well, it's the enthusiasm again that comes from positive mental attitude that keeps you moving and going, despite some of those problems. So the starting point of all achievements, of course, is definite purpose and a positive mental attitude. Remembering this statement, ask yourself, what is my goal? And what do I really want when you're looking at definite purpose and positive mental attitude? What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve with positive mental attitude. You hear this saying a lot, is that uh, whether you believe it or not, it's true. So if you believe you're going to be successful, it's true. If you believe you're not going to be successful, well, that's true too. So, I mean, belief plays a lot in business. Believing you're going to be successful, etc., really helps too. So, of course, if you're getting into business and you don't believe you're going to be successful, you probably shouldn't be in business for yourself. Go become a cog in the machine. I'm sure very much the board would love you. Um, but when you visualize your intended goals, your subconscious mind is affected by autosuggestion, which is why you go back to the seven principles that Napoleon Hill was talking to, that you naturally set your mind with, is that autosuggestion. And it goes to work to help you to get to the destination or to get to those goals, usually the big, hairy, audacious goal, if you've managed to keep it realistic. Your subconscious mind will help you to look for opportunities that you would have not seen before, things said or etc., that you wouldn't have noticed because you're starting to look for it. So when you have your goals in mind, there is that tendency to try and get on track and head in the right direction. You find yourself getting into action, which is kind of the personal initiative. That you find yourself motivated. That's where, and in the enthusiasm, again, staying focused, all of this stuff, those seven, they all really do kind of culminate into one thing to help you to get to that destination. Once you find yourself with your goals in mind and on a daily basis of where you want to go, things are starting to, you see those tendencies. Your work, not always, but at least it becomes more fun, especially if you already know your goals, you know your statistics. It becomes a lot more easier. Uh, you're motivated to pay the price, which is, to budget your time, um, and to steadily think and plan. Then the more you think about your goals, the more that you will become enthusiastic, and the more you become enthusiastic, and you again will find yourself that enthusiasm starts to become, when introduced to your desires, which goes back to the question of asking yourself, what is your goals and what do you really want? That desire with the enthusiasm becomes the burning desire that helps motivate you again, where that positive mental attitude comes in. So you'll find that you become more alert to opportunities, as I mentioned, this will help you to achieve your objectives. You'll notice things that will present themselves in your everyday life. And again, this is because you kind of subconsciously are looking for it. And because you want to achieve those, you'll recognize those opportunities more, whether you're looking for employees or you're in sales or what. When you have those objectives set, it becomes easier to obtain them. So we're all born to be successful, and everyone has the talent to surmount their unique problems that they have, because we all have our unique problems when, well, and it couldn't be easy. After all, this is life. So one of the things I found, though, is that the average person, they don't want freedom. They want safety. And when it comes to business, you will find yourself with a lot more freedom. You're not so much a cog in the machine, so you do have to have that more of the positive mental attitude. But whether this is born, as some people would say, I still think all of these are all trainable skills. If you want to break free, and become an entrepreneur, anybody can do it. Find the right leaders, find the right mastermind group, and they'll help you to become more successful. So with that said, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Leave a comment down below. I hope that there's something in this video that you find of benefit to you or somebody that you know. With that said, thank you very much, and I hope that you have yourself a very beautiful day.